Hey everybody, it's Pax. Welcome back to some more Edge of the Earth with Stella and Amanda. We're going into the Heart of Madness Part 2, but first let's take a look at our deck upgrading. We've got some super simple upgrades today. Amanda is just dropping 2 deductions for 2 deductions. I think that extra icon is going to be a big deal, and frankly, I think that I'm probably just going to need to Hoover Clues a bit faster than I was in the last scenario. I was kind of going a bit slow. I don't know if maybe I was not playing her ideally or the way I normally do, but I think that getting these 2 deductions at level 2 for an extra icon and the chance to pick up 3 clues in an action is going to be a big deal. And then for Stella, we are dropping our 2 meat cleavers for a single test of will, level 1. Just a nice cancel in case something really nasty comes up. We're in the last scenario anyways, so not a big deal to drop an XP on that. And a fire extinguisher level 3. Now, I think that that's just kind of a useful meat cleaver substitute. I do miss out on the +2 if I've got low enough sanity, but frankly, I kind of don't want to have that low of sanity. Not in the finale. So, fire extinguisher is really nice, and also that backup button with the automatically evade everyone, or you can exile it to automatically discard every non-elite. Yeah, seems pretty good. So, we'll be trying that one out, and let's pop into the introduction of the scenario. The facility is even older and stranger beyond the threshold of the ancient gateway. Who knows how many eons this place has slept undisturbed while the earth changed and developed on the other side. Perhaps it would have remained so forever had the site not been disturbed, but it's too late to change the past. All you can do now is work to prevent a terrible future. Dim luminescence fills the eerie halls, powered by some form of advanced energy, like electricity. Behind you, a kaleidoscopic wall of miasma stitches itself together to block your escape. You are trapped here, perhaps forever. A web of expansive halls extends outward from the gateway, carved from smooth stone and covered in ancient murals and alien hieroglyphs. The air here feels thinner. The light bends and oscillates, distorting your vision like an optical illusion. Is this reality or a mirage? Your party studies the murals along the wall for many hours. They depict an ancient, unfamiliar history, an alternate history of the Earth, a very different history than any of you could possibly imagine. Dr. Amy Kensler is still alive, and Dr. Kensler understands the true nature of the miasma, so we will proceed to Intro 2. Dr. Kensler explains everything as she studies the ancient murals. The Elder Things were travelers, colonizers. They came to the Earth over 1 billion years ago, she says, citing Professor Dyer's own notes. But they were not the first ones here. This place, all of this, it was ancient even then. She runs her hands along the mural as she explains what she has learned. But it is not an entity trapped within. You ask what she means, alarmed by this new understanding. She turns to face you, her eyes aflame with inspiration. I had been studying their physiology, attempting to discern how they could exist the way they do, without shape, without matter, without state. But I was going about it all wrong. One cannot study the biology of something inorganic. See, it is not a creature, not truly. It is more akin to... She hesitates, attempting to find the right words. It is an alternate dimension, another reality superimposed on ours, a sentient microcosm of all that is, not composed of organic life, but a mockery of it. This newfound understanding of the phantasms you have encountered and the mirages you have seen put everything into context. They were not monsters you were slaying. They were figments of a false reality, one that may yet come to pass. You asked Dr. Kensler if there was any hope to stop such a force from escaping. It is not a living thing. It cannot be killed, only contained. The Elder Things facility held 5 pylons that used its essence to power their civilization, but after this long, I cannot imagine they still function. But perhaps... She trails off, formulating a plan. Finally, her eyes widen with realization. I know what must be done. I know how to stop it. You must find these pylons and destroy them. Doing so will bring the entire compound down. In the meantime... She hefts her backpack off of her shoulder, dropping it to the ground. I must be off now. There's no time to spare. You object to her sudden departure, but her mind is made up. She backs away, giving one last lingering glance at her companions, before sprinting away. You hope she knows what she's doing, for all of your sakes. In your campaign log, record Dr. Kensler has a plan. Dr. Amy Kensler cannot be chosen to accompany investigator this game. Aw, man, after all that effort I put into getting her resolute? Come on. Alright, proceed to setup. So my last video I kind of mentioned that I wasn't fully cleaning up, but I did end up fully cleaning up because I cleaned out my rec room over the Christmas break here, and I thought I'd get this recorded a lot quicker afterwards, but oh well, I didn't. So if we're setting it up from scratch, which we are, we gather all the cards from those encounter sets. It looks like, just checking over on the checkpoint setup, we're losing the Great Seal, Shoggoths, and Locked Doors, and we're gaining the Stirring in the Deep, Chilling Cold, Striking Fear, and the Agents of the Unknown. Yuck. Chilling Cold and Striking Fear. But when you're gathering Striking Fear, you do not gather the 3 Rotting Remains. So that's gross. 2 Dissonant Voices and 2 Frozen of Fear? Yuck. Okay. The agenda deck is using 4 and 5 because those are the extended ones from the last scenario. They were 1 to 3 before. The Gate of Iqua is unrevealed, side face up, so it's the one that we couldn't access. You take the 5 Mist Pylon locations and the 10 Ancient Facility locations, and then you shuffle them together and put them into play at random using the same map as in Part 1. So I'm going to be doing the same thing where I have the 3 rows of 5. Except that 5 of the randomly placed Ancient Facility locations will instead be Mist Pylon locations. If all 5 locations in the innermost ring are Mist Pylons, you start the process over. Now, I've already splayed it out on the table here, and we'll pop over to that shortly. The locations in this scenario are organized into the spokes and rings, as before. We choose an Ancient Facility location nearest to the Gate of Iqua, and we begin play at the chosen location. We set aside 15 copies of the Nameless Madness, yada yada yada. The Final Mirage Act. Okay. And if we played Part 1, we check the Heart of Madness section of the campaign log. Place each of the 5 seal tokens as follows. Check which seals are drawn under seals placed. For each one there, choose an investigator to take control of that seal, activated side face up. So I have 3 activated. They are the ones that look somewhat like a B and a C, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the other one was supposed to be A. And then the one that I have under Seals Recovered, which is going to be dormant, is the one that kind of looks like a sideways E, capital E. And the other one that we didn't get, which I guess is by exclusion D, is removed from the game. So we don't get that one at all. And then we shuffle the Takalili deck and gather the encounter cards to build the encounter deck, and we're ready to begin. So let's hop into it. So this is what the scenario looks like. Again, we've got our Ancient Facilities laid out in that grid where they overlap this way, and they go out that way, and they're connected this way as well. So I've got my 5 Mist Pylons are lined like this, and remember the setup rule was that if all of them were in the inner row, well, I guess the Gate of Iqua is technically, it's down here when I started it, but then I thought to myself, oh, it'll look a lot neater on the board if I put it up here. So the Gate of Iqua is still connected to these ones. It's the same layout. I just thought it would look a bit neater like that. So Stella and Amanda are starting at this location, and I have to do opening hands before I see where I'm at. 6 cards for Amanda. Grizzly Totem, Mineral Specimen, Deduction, Leadership, Medical, Student, and a Miasmic Crystal. This is a wicked opening hand. I think maybe the Miasmic Crystal might go, but let's see what we get on Stella. Madame, Rabbit, Granny, Spare Parts, Keyring, also quite good. I think the Spare Parts can keep us in money if we need it. So I think I want Granny more than I want Madame at the moment. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. And the allies have gone with our rolled on Amanda, because she can probably heal him if he's getting in a bad health situation. And Elia over here on Stella. I figure getting an evade at base 5 is fine, but more importantly is getting an evade where I get to take a move afterwards. And also a nice even soak value. So I think I'm going to mulligan the Madame Lebranche over here and deal with whatever that gives me. Oh my god, a Dynamite and the Spare Parts right in the opening hand. That is beautiful. We'll shuffle Madame in. We did get rid of all the Tekalilis last scenario. So we currently do not have any Tekalilis in either of our decks. That's fortunate. I would not like to be starting with any of them. And over here, yeah, I said I was going to get rid of that Med Student, and I might get rid of the Miasmic Crystal as well. Just the 2 of them to shuffle back in. A Perception and a Lab Assistant. Wow, what an opening hand. That is insane. Okay. We'll shuffle those in for Amanda. And we'll get going on flipping a location, taking a look at the agenda and the act, taking a second read through the scenario card. Let's go ahead and read the agenda first. So it's a 3 Doom Threshold. The seal weakens. Miasma has completely consumed this part of the facility. The walls and ceiling drip with polychromatic ooze. Polar mist swirls through the halls, and the air shimmers. with the insubstantial quality of a mirage. What manner of power is this, and how can you possibly hope to destroy it? Collapse the pylons. 5 pylons hold this facility together. Your only hope is to destroy them and everything else. Each revealed mist pylon can be attacked as if it were an enemy. Ooh, okay. Its fight value is equal to its shroud value, and its health is equal to its clue value. Not the total clues remaining, the clue value. Okay. While it has no health remaining, it is collapsed. It remains in play. When you discover one or more clues in a mist pylon, spend those clues. Deal that much damage to a mist pylon. To that mist pylon. Okay. Objective at the end of the round, if each mist pylon is collapsed, advance this act. Okay, so I need to get into these locations, which have a additional cost when you enter to spend 1 per investigator clues as a group. So I need to get in, I need to get 10 clues, walk in, and deal damage to them equal to their clue count, or gather the clues off of them to deal damage to them equal to their clue count, right? Okay. So that's the objective. As a reminder, skulls are -1, -3 instead if there's an Ancient 1 enemy at your location. Cultists are -1 if there's a seal at your location, or if your location is a mist pylon, treat this location as a frost token, treat this token as a frost token instead. Now, I have seals at my location, so that's going to be a frost token. The tablet is -3. If you fail, draw the top card of a Tekulili deck, and the other thing is, as we know from the last scenario, if you fail by 3 or more, -4, if you fail by 3 or more, place a doom on the agenda. This can cause the current agenda to advance. So we need to be going a little bit more carefully with Stella. And let's flip the location that we're on. It's the geothermal vent. If you control this seal, you can activate it. But I already control that seal, and I already have it activated, but it does come into play with 2 clues, which means that we can move right up into these mist pylons, or we can kind of move our way through the facility like this. Now, I do want to eventually get this one activated if I can. Presumably. I can only assume that having them active is useful. And let's go ahead and do this very first investigation phase. We need to draw a card and stuff something underneath Amanda. It's the miasmic crystal. Did I shuffle this? Yes, I did. Okay, well, the miasmic crystal is going to go to hand, and I'm just going to quickly shuffle that because the deduction is not something that I mulliganed. I'm just surprised after how I shuffled that. It went right back on top, but sometimes I just doubt myself. You know how I am. You've probably seen me in this series alone miss a couple of things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and shove the perception underneath me, and we're going to go ahead and try to absolutely crush this test if we can. I'm going to first... Ooh, okay, so there's a couple of different things I could do, right? I could drop the lab assistant in play, I could drop the grizzly totem in play, or I could drop the mineral specimen into play. Any of them is going to give me cards in hand. The mineral specimen in particular, though, is going to let me test 8 against 4 with the perception, and I might be getting those 2 cards back, and I'll be getting both of the clues. I feel like not burning a deduction here at a location that only has 2 clues on it is probably my better option. So what I think I'm going to do, first turn for Amanda, is go Grizzly Totem for 3, Mineral Specimen into play, 3 charges on it, and then last action, Investigate using the Mineral Specimen. Oh, my token bag is all the way over here. I'm going to be investigating with a base of 5, plus 3 from Perception, plus 1 from Grizzly is 9 against 4. And I'll be drawing 1 card if I succeed by at all, or 2 cards if I succeed by 2, and getting both clues off the location. Zero. So that's both the clues off the location for sure. 1, 2, onto Amanda, and 2 cards from the Perception, an Overpower, and a Medical Student, and a card from the Grizzly Totem, a Vicious Blow. Wow. That is a sick first turn. I'm super happy with how that went. I do have to spend a mineral specimen charge, of course. Okay. That was pretty good. I'm super happy with that. Let's think about what we're going to do with Stella now. I guess the big thing is, how much time am I actually going to get? I only have 3 turns for this first agenda, and I don't know what happens. So, I think that I'm going to go ahead with Stella. I'm going to play the Rabbit's Foot first, because I feel like a Rabbit's Foot is going to serve me well in this scenario. And then I think, excuse me, I'm going to move over to an ancient facility to try and unlock more clues available on the board, because I still need to get into... If I move up to this mist pylon and there's not enough clues for me to like move over or kill it, you know, I don't think that works out. So let's head over to this ancient facility. If you control the fork seal, spend 2 clues. Oh, excuse me, those are resources. If you control the seal, oh great, that's this one, and you can activate the seal here. Oh, excellent. Okay, perfect. That's great. So third action, we're going to do an investigate. We're 2 against 3. 2 against 1, which could just pass and get a clue, but we might fail and get this rabbit's foot draw and then get another action afterwards, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And the Elder Thing is safe. So I think I'm going to have to be doing a little more discerning. Okay, I just get a clue because I was 1 up, and that's the end of Stella's turn. Okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal. So we ready everything over here. Let's not lose all of our stuff, though. We get a card draw on Amanda, which is another leadership. We'll stack them together and we get a resource. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, so we're going to want to play that lab assistant if we can. Over here for Stella, we get an ice pick, great, and a resource. Ice pick and Granny Orn slapping down. That seems pretty good to me. All right, our first doom of the scenario, 1. And let's draw an encounter card for Amanda. Crypt Chill. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, choose and discard an asset you control. Well, I think that's going to be happening. We could stuff this miasmic crystal into it. What would that put us at? 4, 5, 6, 7. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6? 6 against 2. Let me think. Oh, Stella's not at her location. No, I think we're just going to eat this and we're going to go ahead and lose the mineral specimen. Not that big of a deal. I do have, I've got the deductions, right? I got the clues off that I wanted. I got my perception trigger off that I wanted. This is a safe thing for me to lose because I can play it again and it's good icons if I lose it. So we're just going to go ahead. Oh, but you know what? 2 against 4. If I pull that Elder Thing, that's bad news. Yeah, we're going to go in on this a little bit. We're going to go in on this a little bit. We're going to go with both of them, and we're even going to add an icon to the miasmic crystal. So we at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 against 4. If nothing else, it makes us safe against the Elder Thing symbol. Excuse me. But we're also pretty good odds of passing, and we've even got a card draw on it if we do pass. -1. Great. So we draw a card to crack the case. And those guys get shunted away. And that's great because we still have that mineral specimen to help us getting clues real fast. Go ahead with Stella's encounter card. Boom. Wook wook. Find the giant albino penguin. Well, I need to draw an albino penguin from in here. Whew, that's a bummer. All the really bad guys were down at the bottom. So it's an additional action for us to leave this location. Not a big deal. We can toss a dynamite down on ourselves and blow ourselves up if we wanted to. I might end up just killing him from afar instead, though. I noticed that my encounter cards are pretty clumped up. I'm a little worried that these... I use penny sleeves from Mayday Games. And they shuffle fine, but I really find... I wonder if I'm like over-shuffling and like reordering the set by shuffling too much. I'm not sure. I find that the cards tend to clump together in little pairs and don't actually stay apart from one another. Anyways, excuse me. We're going to want to kill him. Amanda is going to want to come over and do that ability. But before we do any of that, we do have to draw a card over here. It's a practice makes perfect, and we have to shove this perception away and stuff something else underneath us. And I really hate to put anything really valuable away. I kind of feel like I have to put this leadership underneath me, as much as I don't want to. Yeah, I think I gotta put a leadership underneath me. Not that big of a deal. I just, I wouldn't mind the crack the case giving me a bit more money. And if I pass tests in the meantime, then fine, I'm good. But we're not going to go ahead with her first. We're going to go ahead with Stella first. Stella is going to... excuse me. I've got a nasty head cold that I've had all Christmas break. And it's not COVID because we got tested. But I've had it literally since the first day I was off. And I've been off for 2 weeks and 4 days now. And it has not gone away. Okay. Let's spend our 4 resources for Granny Orn. We'll spend 1 more resource for an old keyring. We got no money now, but that's not a big deal. We'll do the same thing we did last turn, where we're third test is going to be an investigate, and we are now 3 against 1. And again, if it passes, not a big deal. If it fails, then I get my rabbit's foot draw, and I get my extra action. And I'll probably just use that to play a dynamite or something. A 0. So we just get that last clue. Not a big deal. And I did forget to grab a clue off of that first one. I don't know where the heck I put that, but it seems to have disappeared. So we'll just grab that first clue and put it on her instead of... I probably just threw it right in the bag. Anyways, that's Stella's turn. Let's go ahead with Amanda. Okay. So... I think we are going to shuffle up to this mist pylon, and we're going to see what these are all about. Yeah, okay, so action 1, we're going to move to this mist pylon. There's an additional cost for us to enter. We have to spend 2 clues. Bye-bye, clues. It is a 5 shroud. Excuse me. A 5 shroud, 2 clue location, so it has 2 health. There's a 5 fight value if I want to kill it. If you control the B seal and it is activated, you unleash the seal's power. Place the B seal in this mist pylon for the remainder of the game. Reduce the shroud value for each mist pylon by 2. Wow. That's incredible. I think we'd like to do that. I think I'd also like to just get the clues off of here instead of dealing with this shit. So, how am I going to do that? I'm going to move in. First action. Second action, I'm going to play my lab assistant. 1. Lab overpower and a Michael Lee. 1, 2. And then third action, we're going to go ahead and spend our final resource on Practice Makes Perfect on an investigate here. So we are investigating with the mineral specimen, 5 against 5. Look at the top 9 cards of the deck. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, perfect. Look at that. That's just incredible. We'll toss this perception in. Perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't really want the promise of power. A promise of power would have done, but a perception is what I was looking for. So, we are investigating at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the leadership for 2 clues with the mineral specimen. And I think we're just going to take these because we can hit this guy next turn if we want to. And I kind of want Stella to come over and activate this seal, I feel like. Maybe not. It's hard to say. I don't know what kind of shroud values the rest of them have. And we can just crack the case to get all that money back, right? Okay. Yeah, 9 against 5 for 2 clues. Because if I just get these clues and don't spend them to deal damage, then I can walk into the next mist pylon. And I think that's the play. I feel like that's got to be the play. I really would like to stay as far ahead of the clock as I can on this one and not dilly-dally. I feel like it's a finale. That's a -1, so I get 2 cards from Perception, a Magnifying Glass, and a Medical Student. I grab the 2 clues. I play the Crack the Case for 5 resources. 2, 3, 4, 5. The Leadership gives me 2 resources. 1, 2. And that's the end of my turn. I guess I'll just, I'll pop that Magnifying Glass into play. I'll just, where the heck will I put that? The Perception goes back to my hand, and I'll pop the Magnifying Glass into play. I'll put that right here, like that. Okay, so that got us in a really good position to be able to punch this with a Vicious Blow or an Overpower next turn. And what I might do is Overpower under her, punch it, maybe Vicious Blow, walk over 1. Punch him 2. I feel like that is a good plan. Okay. Upkeep for Amanda is a promise of power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 10 hand size now with a lab assistant. This readies. And then she also gets a resource. And then Stella gets a card draw, a drawing thin, and a resource. Drawing thin. It's fine. It's not the most useful just because of that awful doom adding that we've got going on here. But hopefully this albino penguin doesn't screw us too badly. I wonder... Yeah, okay. Let's think about it after we see what we get. Ancient Evils, that's a doom, and we advance. Bummer. Excuse me. From the nameless depths at the very core of the earth, the miasma's true form emerges. It is a shapeless thing, a creature of whirling mist and putrid ichor that screams and whispers and crawls and flies. It seeps through the walls and up from the ice. It is everywhere. It is everything. Spawn one set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness enemy at the mist pylon nearest to an investigator. Okay. Well, we've got all these Nameless Madness guys that we set aside at the very start of the scenario. And there's 15 of them, go figure. And that guy is spawning at Amanda's location. And he has massive alert, retaliate, cannot take damage, forced. After you evade or attack the Nameless Madness for each point you succeeded by, exhaust the nearest ready copy of the Nameless Madness. And he has 1 damage, 1 horror, and he has a 2 difficulty combat and a 2 difficulty evade. I'm just going to put them up there. Check the campaign log. If the truth of the mirage eludes you, well, you know what? The truth of the mirage is very well known to me. That which has no name. Tekelili, 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 tekelili. Forced, when one more doom would be put into play, if there are any copies of the Nameless Madness still set aside, instead, spawn 1 set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness at the location nearest to an investigator without a copy of that enemy that is connected to a location with a copy of that enemy. Man, that is a mouthful. So, the way I understand this is, you look at locations that are connected to one, you spawn a new one at a location nearest of those locations, the one nearest to an investigator. That's how I read that ability. And I know I've seen that explained a bunch of times on the Discord, but by God, is it ever a confusing ability. Now it's Stella's draw, and she gets another Ancient Evils. So that's going to spawn a second Nameless Madness, which I think is going to be going here on this geothermal vent. I feel like, well, any of these 3. I don't want to put it on the mist pylon. Now, does it have to be a mist pylon? Let me reread this really quickly. 1 set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness at the location nearest to an investigator without a copy of the enemy that is connected to a location with a copy of that enemy. This is the nearest location to her at a location adjacent to this guy, but not including him. Okay, yes. So that's correct. That's correct. So this leadership falls out from underneath Amanda. She gets her mandatory draw, and it's a dream-enhancing serum. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do what I said last time. I'm going to put an overpower underneath her, and what she's going to be doing is she's going to be punching this guy, punching this with a vicious blow, and getting the hell out of dodge. And I think we'll go ahead with her first. I think that makes the most sense to just get hers over with. So, we're going to be attacking this guy. He's got 2 difficulty. He is massive, so he is like engaged with us. So if we do anything that isn't an attack, like we play something, then we're getting stuck with him. So we're going to go ahead and attack him with the overpower. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me. Is 5 against 2 good enough? I don't think it is. Let's go 6. I think I've got to go 6, 7, because I've got to make sure this hits. So a leadership's going into that. 7 against 2. To evade effectively exhausts 2 of them. if I succeed by 2. A 0. Okay, so that exhausts both of them. I draw 2 cards from Overpower, and I gain 2 resources from Leadership. Practice makes perfect, and a Dream Diary. Okay. I think what I'd like to do now is pull that Overpower and Vicious Blow into a location. So, am I going to be able to hit this guy for enough? I think I need to put the Vicious Blow in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 5. We're going to need to put that Promise of Power in. So we'll take a Curse token, add that to the bag. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 against 5 for 2 damage. And then we'll collapse it if it gets defeated there. -2. Okay, so we definitely defeat it, so that's 2 damage on it. It's collapsed now. And we also succeeded by enough that we draw 2 more cards with that Overpower. 1, 2. I think that I would like to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would very much like to play a card from my hand. And I think I can just fight this guy again next turn. I have another Overpower in hand. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play my Michael Lee now. I feel like that's a big safety net for me. Michael Lee is very strong on her. And I'll be investigating and fighting a lot more safely with him in play. Okay. Stella Clark. My dear Stella Clark, my dear. Okay. Let's put that -2 away first. Can't stay there. I think we're going to spend our 2 clues from Stella to head up here. I feel like that might be an okay idea. So we're going to spend our 2 clues to head up to this next Mist Pylon with Stella. And that's going to spend us 2 actions because of this albino penguin, but it is what it is. You control the D seal, so we don't have that one. So this has 4 clues on it. It's a 3 shroud location. And we won't be having that one, that ability, which seems like a pretty good ability by the read of it. Can we fail this by 3 or more? We will be at 3 value against a difficulty of 3, second action. And Granny Orn could only give me +1 fail by. So if I pulled that Elder thing, I would absolutely fail by too much. So, to that effect, what we'll do is we'll play the Ice Pick fast. And then we will investigate using the Ice Pick at a value of 4 against 3. Which is fine. It's an okay value. And if it happens to go off, then we can just pick up 2 clues. And I might even deal 2 damage if I pick up 2 clues, so that Amanda does not have to pull so much work. The Curse, okay, -2, so we're definitely pulling an Elder thing after this and placing a Doom. Alright. 0. Okay, so we do burn the Curse, but we do fail. And that means that I get to... How much did I fail by? I failed by 1, so I use my Rabbit's Foot for a single card. It's a scavenging. I'm not going to bother tapping that because it's all buried right now. And now I'm on my 3rd action. I'm really tempted to play this Dynamite and get this albino penguin killed next turn. But I'm also tempted to just keep going, is the other thing. And I think that keeping on going might be the right play. Oh, you know what? I could fail by an Extrum with the Granny Orn. Yeah, you know what? I already saw it. I don't have anything in my discard to play the Scavenging to make that worthwhile, so I'm not going to do that. I think I am going to play the Dynamite. Get that 2 supplies on it, and then I'll try and get the spare parts out next turn. Can we see that at all on the screen? No, we can't see that at all. So Elia, we're going to move you up a little bit. I don't think we're going to be using his ability much. He's going to be here for soak primarily. Okay, so that's that. These guys are going to ready up. Collapsed 1 pylon. That's not too bad. This guy's standing at the Hall of the Sunless Sea. Get an upkeep draw over here for Amanda. That's her Obscure Studies, so she can get this Overpower back to hand if by any chance she pulls a test here. And then Stella gets a Look What I Found and $1. Whoops, that was a clue. Okay. I feel like they recovered from that all right. So a Doom gets placed up there. When one or more Doom will be placed, another one of these guys nearest to an Investigator, so he pops up under Stella. And hopefully Amanda can get another big swing in. And then Amanda draws Primeval Terror. 2 willpower. This test gets +1 difficulty for each location you are away from the Gate of Iqua. If you fail, take 2 horror. So we are 2 locations away. We're 1, 2, so it's a 4 difficulty willpower test. I think we are going to go ahead and pull that Overpower back. I feel like I need that. So we'll put the Obscure Studies under her. And then we will... I think we're good on health for now. We'll commit a Medical Student. And a Eureka. And use the Grizzly Totem. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 4. Because that curse is gone. I would really love to not add Elder Things on Amanda ever if I can avoid it. That's what I'm going for. Never ever doing it. -1. So we definitely succeed. So we'll do Eureka first, one of the top 3. We'll take another Vicious Blow. That seems pretty good. Should have taken the Grizzly Totem draw first. Probably going to hit her weakness real soon. We're also going to hit Day of Reckoning real soon, putting the Elder Sign completely out of play. 1 from the Grizzly Totem, a shortcut. That's something we really like to see going into this next turn. So this Primeval Terror goes away. These guys go away. Stella draws the Unsealed Phantasm, the nearest mist pylon that is not collapsed, or your location if there are none in play. So that's on me. While this is ready and at a mist pylon, damage cannot be dealt to that mist pylon. At the end of the enemy phase, if the Unsealed Phantasm is ready, move it once towards the mist pylon nearest to it that is not collapsed. Okay, so this guy is not massive, so he's right in Stella's face. So I think we've got to go with Amanda first to try and deal with this shit. So the Obscure Studies pops off, unfortunately, and we get... Oh, a deduction. Great. That is excellent. Okay. I'm going to put the Overpower under Amanda. Yeah. The Overpower goes under Amanda. Then... we can just shortcut right to them, can't we? I don't have to fight this guy and move over. I can just do it to that guy. And if he happens to... okay. Let's think about this a little more. Let's take a think. Okay, so I think we're going ahead with Amanda, like I said. Amanda can just shortcut right over and have all of her actions at this location. So that's definitely what we're doing first. Right there. The question is, does she try to get this guy evaded so that we're not dealing with him? Or do I try and go all in on this guy to kill him and have Stella evade this guy? And I kind of feel like I have to go in on this guy because I don't think Stella can deal with him. She can evade him for 2. That's okay. But we really cannot deal with this Unsealed Phantasm, which is a major bummer. So... we're going to go ahead with Amanda. She's going to take a Swinging Punch with the Overpower and a Vicious Blow. And she's going to commit the Green Soapstone as well. So she's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 against 5. 11 against 5 is a nice value because -4 gets me to 7, which is a succeed by 2. A 0. Great. So we deal 3 damage to this guy. We draw 2 cards from the Overpower, a Dream Enhancing Serum, and a Promise of Power. I wish I had been able to get some clues with Michael, because he'd been able to add a damage to that, and we'd be able to deal with him in 2 hits. The problem is I'm going to start running out of icons to commit to this, because I can't put this other Overpower into it. And I don't even know that I have any other practiced cards left. I'm worried that 2 damage is the most I can really get away with here. Or, excuse me, the 3 damage, and I might need to let Stella try to ice pick him or something. But even then, she's only 3 against 3 on her last action. That is brutal. Okay, we got to go again. We've got to attack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With the curse token in against 5. Don't have any icons to contribute on Stella. -1, so that's another damage. And 2 cards with Overpower. Crack the case. The Whispers from the Deep. Can we do the last damage is my question. And I don't know that I can. I don't have the icons for it. And so I think what I'm going to do instead... 6 against 5. God, that's painful. I do have Granny, but if I fail, then I'm punching her for 1. And do I really want to do that? I kind of feel like I have to just do it on this guy and see if Stella can get a better turn. But Stella's better turn is using Ashevak on him to burn an action so that she can actually deal with the Unsealed Phantasm on her 3rd or 4th. That's the problem. That is the problem. So I think that we're just... Yeah, we're going to go for it again. 6 against 5. 6 against 5. And we do have a Granny Orn for a +1 if we need it. And we'll just punch... We'll punch Stella once. Not a big deal. 1 punch, not a big deal. 6 against 5. -1. There it is. Easy, really. He heads up into the victory display. We do draw 1 more card from the Overpower. It's a Eureka. Whoops. Hopefully we can toss this Whispers in the Deep into something for Stella so that we don't have to deal with that. The shuffle of the deck. Okay. That was absolutely nerve-wracking. Now it is up to Stella to try to evade this guy. So we're going to go ahead. Ashevak does not have his uses on him, but we're going to use a use to try and evade at base 5 against his difficulty of 4, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's the best I can do. 5 against 4. I could go 6 against 4, and then I'd have +1 from Granny if I get a -3. And I think I will. I think that that's a decent idea, and I can scavenge that back once I'm all set up for it. So 6 against 4 with Elia, using one of his actions. If you are successful, you may move to a connecting location. I don't think I will, but I may. It could prove to be useful, but I don't think I'll be doing it. That's the -4. So we were 7 against... Excuse me, we were 6 against 4. -4 is 2 against 4, so I don't fail by 3 in Place of Doom, but I do fail by 2. And I'll use Rabbit's Foot to draw a card off the top 2. It is a Test of Will. Ooh, that's real tempting right off the bat. And a Fire Extinguisher. Oh boy. Why do I have to choose between these 2 cards? That's not fair. I'm going to take the Test of Will. God. Make me put this Fire Extinguisher away. That is just straight up evil. I feel like I'm scared of the Treachery deck a little more than I'm scared of enemies right now. Especially where Amanda's just about to get a reshuffle and she's got a Practice Makes Perfect in hand. I should be okay. And I can always be using Stella to evade these guys if I really need it. Okay. So that's action 1, and I have 2 actions remaining now. Now I can test my base 4 against 2. Evade. I still have Granny available if I get the... Oh no, 4 minus 2. Yeah, that's fine. So I've got Granny available in case I really want to pass it, which I kind of do. 0. So he's evaded, and I've succeeded by 2, so I get to evade 2 of them. I guess I'll just do those 2. Right? Now, the question is, do I want to try and get a whole bunch of these clues off? I think the answer is yes. So I've got 2 actions to get clues off if I want to. Do I have a way to evade these guys again next turn? I do not. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and investigate with the old keyring, with Ice Pick into it. And over here we're going to commit a deduction from Amanda. And before we do all that, third action we're going to play Scavenging. Excuse me. So... Keyring, Ice Pick, Granny. I'm at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 0 difficulty. I'd love to play that spare parts again and get some more dynamite charge just to toss at these penguins whenever I get a chance. And I believe I can get all these clues if I succeed by 2 and get that spare parts back. Auto fail. The classic. The classic. Get the fuck out of here. No money, so I don't lose my keyring charge. But that is what happened, so it is what it is. We'll ready up. They'll ready up. We'll get a card on Amanda, which is our Day of Reckoning, which is going to shove the Elder Sign out of the bag forever. We're never seeing that again, I don't think. Because this is the last agenda. There's our Elder Sign. Goodbye, sir. And then we get a card draw. We did a card draw. We get a resource. And then we get a card draw. Manual Dexterity. That's nice. And a resource. Manual Dexterity is actually pretty good. Actually pretty good. Whew. Okay. Alright. Doom places, and we get another guy at the nearest one next to a Nameless Madness, so I think it has to be here. With the penguin. And then Amanda draws. A Primordial Evil. This is the 3/5/1. When you deal any amount of damage to him, he has Hunter Retaliate. When you deal any amount of damage to him, shuffle the top card of the Tekalili deck into your deck without looking at it. If you cannot, it attacks you. And then Stella gets the Roots of the Earth. Testing 2 agility. So we're testing 4 against 2. This test gets +1 difficulty for each location you are away from the Gate of Equus. We are 4 against 4. Do I want to test 4 against 4, or do I want to put a Manual Dexterity into that and be 2 up? I think 4 against 4 is what we've got to go for. I need that Manual Dexterity to do some evades this turn. Because I need to evade the Nameless Madness, evade the Primordial Evil, and probably peace out, to be honest. I think that this pylon is not falling. This is tricky. So 4 against 4, the auto fail, so we trigger the Rabbit's Foot. That is 2 damage to us, but we trigger the Rabbit's Foot for the top 4 cards of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that Waylay. God, I wish I had money for that. Son of a bitch. Alright, whew, that is a tough choice. Okay, I feel like the Take Heart... Oh, man. That is really tough. I feel like the Live and Learn does the most for me immediately, but the Take Heart really boosts me up going forward. And I'm going to pick that. Really hope I don't regret that one. Okay, so I think Stella's turn looks something like evade the Nameless Madnesses, engage the Primordial Evil, and evade him with Elia Eshivak, and then just peace out. And we'll have to come back to this Miss Pylon, because it's not happening. right now. I can't. We're getting too bogged down with the deck. We're going to go try and collapse these ones first, and then we'll double back around. Is what we'll have to do. Yeah. I'd really love to throw his dynamite at that penguin before shit gets too far along, too. That is brutal. Okay. Roots of the Earth is gone. The auto-fail is back in the bag. Unfortunately. And then over here on Amanda, we actually have to discard our Overpower and draw a card, and we have to shove this Whispers from the Deep underneath, because I didn't put it onto her test just then. I could have committed that, but I did not, and I wasn't thinking. And that's my own fault. No one else's but mine. Okay, like I said, Stella's got 4 actions right now, because she's already failed one. I think that she kind of just has to go ahead and evade this guy. 4 against 4, and I'm just going to toss the take card into that. And if I spawn another one, then, I don't know, one pops up there. Right? It is what it is. 4 against 4. -3, if you fail, the top card of a Tekelili deck goes into your deck. Oh, draw the top card of the Tekelili deck. Take a damage. My bad. And then I draw 2 and gain 2. Cookie's Custom, and another take heart. Cookie's Custom is not entirely unuseful. It's actually sort of okay. Having an option for combat is really nice. Having another base 5 option for combat is really nice. So we need to evade the Nameless Madness now. So we're going to evade him for 5, 6 against 2. 6 against 2. And I think that we're going to go ahead and toss a Eureka into this to be 7 against 2. Just to be a little bit extra certain. Don't forget the tablet. -1. Okay, so these guys probably all get evaded, right? 7 minus 1 is 6, so these guys all get evaded. And we'll just do that really quickly. We get to Eureka over here on Stella. We'll take a resort. Ooh. No, I'd like to get that track shoes. Resourceful's better icons, but man, that track shoes is going to be really helpful when we want to go double back to here, right? Because we're going to need to evade these guys and then like walk all the way back. Oof. I wonder if Amanda will be able to pick up all of these clues and leave this turn and actually collapse this one before we get out of here. It'll put another Nameless Madness on us here because it'll have to spawn on us, but it's a possibility. Oh man, it's going to follow us so badly. I kind of have to like duck around or something. I don't know. That's going to be tricky. I want to be more than one away if I can, but I think my plan right now is just going to have them following us perfectly. So we're probably just going to have to evade it every single turn. That's what that looks like, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Next action, we engage the Primordial Evil. And then last action, we'll use Elia Ashevak to evade him 5 against 0. And scoot out if we are successful. Again, I would have really liked to have tossed that dynamite down to that penguin. He's probably going to fuck us next turn, but it is what it is. -1. So he's evaded. If you succeed, you may move to a connecting location. I could bring him with me and do some evades on him next turn, but I feel like leaving him here is a bit better. And then I'll scoot over to this ancient facility. It is the Subnautical Sprawl. It is a 4-clue location. Okay, that's good. Having a bunch of clues available for us to gather is very nice. It'll help us get into these next couple missed pylons and deal with them kind of guilt-free. Okay. So that was a reasonable Stella turn, I think. I can also toss a dynamite back at that Primordial Evil if he starts being annoying for us. Okay, so Amanda, you are in a weird position because you've got a lot of clues you could get, and you're not likely to get them. So we're going to go ahead and use the Mineral Specimen. That brings us up to a base of 5, but we're down 1, 4, 5, 6. And we'll go 7, 8. And we'll even go 9, 10, 11. So we are 11 against 3. And that will get all of the clues if it succeeds. Of course I say that. And I'm going to cry my eyes out when I pull a fucking auto-fail again. Nice. -1. Okay, so we get all of the clues off that. We'll spend all of them immediately to deal that much damage. 4 damage. This guy's collapsed. Okay. Done. 2 cards from the perception. 1 is a shortcut. And then this shuffles. And I deal 1 damage to my lab assistant. There's not a lot of deck here. That's okay. Obscure studies. Well, don't need that right now. Okay, that's gone. And then we're going to scoot over a location so that we don't get absolutely buggered again. I still have 2 clues. I could just walk into his next mist pylon and let Stella deal with that. But I kind of feel like that's not the nice thing to do. So we're going to go ahead. Ooh, the question is, do dream enhancing serums help me a bit more? Or does my dream diary help me a bit more? And I think right now, my dream diary helps me a bit more. What's this over here? This is the sleeve that I was going to put on. Put that away. Yeah, I think the dream diary helps me a little bit more. So we'll get that essence of the dream right there. And hopefully we won't forget about that. Okay, that's that turn. Our stuff readies. Their stuff readies. Oh, this is hateful. This is hateful. We get a card. Vicious Blow and a resource. And then Stella gets a card, a Resourceful, and a resource. Great. Okay. Not looking bad. Another one of these Nameless Madnesses drops in play onto us. Just put that right there for now. We get encounter cards. Amanda gets a Dissonant Voices. You cannot play assets or events. Okay. Not that big of a deal. And then Stella gets an Obscuring Fog plus 2 Shroud. After this is successfully investigated, discard the Obscuring Shroud. That is a bit of a pain, but I feel like we can overcome a bit of Obscuring Shroud. This is a 4 Shroud location now, and we just need to investigate successfully once. So, we'll go ahead and discard the Whispers from the Deep and grab what? A Miasmic Crystal. I actually don't have a lot of great ways to investigate right now, which is hilarious. And so I'm going to put this Obscure Studies underneath me, as much as that pains me. Maybe I could put the Lab Assistant. I'm good on cash. Let's put the Crack the Case underneath us. Okay. So now the question is, do I go first with Amanda and like punch this guy, do a big investigate, get a ton of clues? No, I don't think I do. I'm going to put an evidence on Michael Lee because I forgot last turn. But I don't think that happens because I just don't have the icons to do that right now, do I? To get to smash a test and defeat that guy and then like also leave? Not really, no. Okay, so I think what ends up happening instead then is Stella goes first. And she does what she did last turn, basically. Which is attempt and evade. Elia is ready over here. If he's even on the camera, but he isn't, but there. She's going to attempt and evade with a take heart. She's 4 against 4. The Granny Orn and the Elder thing, unfortunately, is not quite enough to get there. I wonder if... Do I have a single icon we could put in with over here? I do have a shortcut icon. I feel like that's not good. Maybe I toss in the Miasmic Crystal. Toss in the Miasmic Crystal. That way we're 5 against 4. And the Heart of Madness Elder thing I can Granny Orn my way out of. And I don't mind if I succeed because I can just fail my next test if I really need to. A curse, so -2, so I definitely am failing. No worries there. Oh, I guess I could pull the +1 now. Give me that +1. Give me that sweet, sweet +1 to fuck over this take heart. No, -3. If you fail, draw the top card of the Takalili deck. 1 horror. Not a big deal. Toss that onto Granny Orn. And then this is shuffle. Put this on the bottom of the Takalili deck. Curse is gone. That's good to get rid of. We did just fail by 4. Whoopsies. And we got our action back. So we'll use our Rabbit's Foot to look at the top 4 cards of the deck and draw 1. And then we will draw 2 with the take heart and take 2 resources. Granny, small radio, manual dexterity, live and learn. Let's take the manual dexterity. Yeah, we'll take the manual dexterity. We'll do a quick shuffle. We'll take our 2 resources and our 2 cards from the take heart. We have 3 actions remaining. Maybe we can get the obscuring fog off of this with Stella. An old keyring on 3rd action and then walk out last action. Okay. 1, 2. The take heart. Ice pick and a fight or flight. Ooh, a fight or flight. Nice. Okay. We'll evade again with the manual dexterity this time. Putting us at a value. What value will that be? 6 against 2. I could use Elia to get another move. I think maybe I'll do that next time when we've got another mist pylon we want to walk into. I hope all these spawn with clues, because we might run out of clues if we don't. If that is not the case. -4, but we were 6 against 2, so it's successful. So we draw a card with manual dexterity. It's another resourceful, and he's evaded. But I only successfully evaded by none, excuse me. So I actually don't get to... Oh, no. I do evade him, and then after I evade him, for each point I succeed by, I evade more of them. So I didn't evade more of them. Right, okay. Good. That scared the shit out of me for a second. I'm going to go ahead and investigate 3rd action with an old keyring charge. The ice pick into it. We'll be at 4 against 0. Because of the -2 difficulty and the -2 from the old keyring. So 4 against 0 with an ice pick. -2. So we succeed. We'll discard the ice pick and get 2 clues. And we lose a keyring charge. And then finally, we will... I've got a lot of cards in hand. I'm just going to pop this other ice pick into play so that I don't lose anything. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Last action, though, maybe I should have used Elia. I think we're just going to move into the next mist pylon, spending 2 clues. And this obscuring fog is gone. This is a 2 shroud, 3 clue location. Wow, that's a lot of clues to pick off of here. If you control the spiky one, which is not active, and this one should be active. I keep flipping that one over by accident. Place this seal in this. Okay, for the remainder of the game, each enemy gets -2 fight, -2 evade. It is at a mist pylon. Okay, well, we don't have that active right now, and that's fine. So we do have to deal with 6 damage or pick up enough clues, and that it's going to give us enough clues to be able to do the rest of what we want to do. So that's kind of nice. I wonder if we can just deal a bunch of damage to it right now with Amanda. And I kind of feel like that might be the play. We're going to shove over with Amanda. We're going to try and get some clues, I think. The Essence of a Dream should be in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't play assets or events. So we're just going to do some cluing, I think. Yeah, we're going to do some cluing. I'm going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 2. 6 against 2 with a Grizzly Totem. Get some evidence on Michael built up so we can kill these next couple ones really quick. Oh, I should use an evidence as well this turn. Ooh. Yeah, I'd like to hit it once so that I can use an evidence up. That's a good point. -2, so that is 1 clue, which we will spend to deal a little damage. And I've successfully investigated, so I'll put a thing on him. And we get a card from the Grizzly Totem, a deduction. Oh, baby. That's nice. Because now we can just investigate again. Do we punch this time or do we investigate? I think we investigate. We'll investigate again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 against 2. Oh no, you know what? I might want to save that for next turn. Let's not put 4 more into that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 2. 7 against 2 I'm happy with. Maybe I could put a resourceful into this over here. Yeah, I'm going to put a resourceful into this from Stella. Get that other ice pick back. Toot sweet. I think I triggered that scavenging, or I should have triggered that scavenging and forgot to. I'll have to double check that in the footage when I go in at it. Okay. -2, so we definitely get 3 clues. And we are going to deal it... No, we're just going to take the clues, I think. Let me think. What does it say? When you discover 1 or more clues, spend those clues, deal that much damage. So I can't choose to deal less. I think I'm just going to deal with 3 damage. Yeah, I'm going to deal with 3 damage. And then we're going to get something back over here. Let's get the ice pick back. And that was a move, investigate, investigate. Does she have anything else she can do on her turn? She can't play anything because of this dissonant voices, so I think she's just stuck here. So that's the end of her turn. Yeah, that's the end of her turn. Okay. So we ready up. He hunts over once. He readies up. Draw a card. Crack the case. Gain a resource. Cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We still have a lab assistant. We're good. Rabbit foot readies up. We draw a card. It's Hypochondria. After you take 1 more damage, take a direct horror. I have 8 cards in hand. We're good over here, and we get a resource on Stella as well. Okay. A Doom gets placed. Another Nameless Madness pops out onto us. Is she upside down? Well, that's funny. She is. We'll go like that, and then we'll get an encounter card for Amanda. Wook wook. We're going to place a Doom, spawning another Nameless Madness at the location closest to us. We'll send him up this way. And then Stella gets a Crypt Chill. Crypt Chill is really not a big deal for Amanda, I don't think. Excuse me, for Stella. The big thing is, though, that I have to do a test. But discarding this Rabbit's Foot is like nothing at all. I do not want to fail with an Elder thing, because that puts us in a bad position where there's a Nameless Madness there. And we got to stay ahead of that Primordial Evil. We got to defeat this turn. +1. Alright, well, I don't even fail. That's hilarious. Because I was 4 against 4 with Granny Orn. Okay. So, we lose the Crack the Case underneath Amanda, and we get a Practice Makes Perfect. This Dissonant Voices is long gone. He's been gone since last round. Don't even talk to me right now. I think we're going to put the Essence of the Dream underneath us. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, you know what? We're going to go ahead and put the Overpower underneath us, because we can punch this guy off of us, punch the location to death, and then get the fuck out. Yeah, we're going to put the Overpower underneath us. Okay. And we're going to start with her. So, we'll do exactly what I said. We're going to punch the Nameless Madness first. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 2. -3 because there's an ancient one in our location, but that is successful. 7 against 2 is -3 is 4 against 2, so we succeed by 2. That's 2 draws from the Overpower, 1 draw from the Grizzly Totem, Green Soapstone, and he is evaded. And I mean, it doesn't matter. The guy that we're at is evaded. That's the big thing that really matters. And then we will also take a punch against the location. It is a, what is it again? It's a 2 Shroud location. So we're going to commit the Soapstone to this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 2. I can deal an extra damage with Michael Lee, so that's kind of nice. So 2 actions so far. -4, but I'll deal with extra damage with Michael Lee. And that's collapsed. And I was, how much was I again? 6, 9 against -4. 9 -4 is 5. 5 against 2. That would succeed by 2 for an Overpower. A Medical Student, a Vicious Blow. We'll shortcut down 1 location, spending 2 clues. Divismus Phylon. If you have the, oh my god, 4 clues. Whew. That is a hefty amount of clues. If you control the this one, each time you deal damage to a missed pylon, deal an additional damage. Oh wow, okay. That's brutal. That's craziness. So we're gonna want to get that. Yeah, that's nuts. I think I'm gonna want to get a couple clues off of here first, though. And I think I'm gonna get the clues off with Stella. The clues off with Stella makes sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me. Because she can just get them off their 1 difficulty. There's like no consequence to that. So we're just going to go ahead and I want to save a Vicious Blow for next turn to like chunk this through really quick. So I'm going to use 1 Vicious Blow. Attacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 1. -1. Okay, so we deal 3 damage to the location. It has 5 health remaining. We already used Michael Lee, and he exhausts to use, so I don't have that anymore. Okay, I didn't even use the Essence of the Dream that turn. Guess I shouldn't have saved it. Okay, so that's her. Stella. What do we want to do with you, my dear? I feel like I can really afford to chunk this Hypochondria for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and move down 1, because he's exhausted. That's the first thing Amanda did. Move down 1. Second action, I need to get some of these clues off so we can move into this last location. So I'm going to investigate 4 with the ice pick used against 0. I'm going to use that old keyring up. 4 against 0. Okay, that fails. So we get an action back. We do... Oh my god, because the difficulty was 0, I search the top 0 cards of my deck with Rabbit's Foot. You rat! Well, I think what we're going to do then is we're going to spend a resource to play over this ice pick with another ice pick. And then do the same thing. Old keyring. Use the ice pick. 4 against 0. I don't even need to use the old keyring, but... yeah, I'm not even using the old keyring this time. Still 4 against 0. Do I have another resourceful? I think I'll use that just to get my other ice pick back off this test. And something else, because scavenging might grab it. So 5 against 0. -4, so I do not succeed by 2 with the scavenging, but I do succeed. So I get 2 clues when I burn the ice pick. And I get the other ice pick back to hand with the resourceful. And I'll take those 2 clues so we can move into that last location. And then last action, because I did fail once, I think I'm going to pop Cookie's Custom into play with 2 ammo on it. And shoot once with a skill of 5 against 0 for 2 damage. Oh my god, I forgot to use this. For 3 damage. Because I'll be dealing bonus damage to... For the remainder of the game, each damage you deal to a missed pylon deals an additional 1, so I'll be hitting it for 3. Right. Okay. Auto-fail. Wow. This is, she's an auto-fail magnet tonight. Okay, this guy's going to hunt once. Down this way. These guys already up. And we have to do stuff. So, ready? Draw a card over here. Perception 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I am way over hand size. I think I'm getting rid of a medical student. I think I'm getting rid of a leadership. I think I'm getting rid of a Dream Enhancing Serum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then Stella gets a Live and Learn and a resource. Another one of these guys pops into play instead of a Doom. Ah. Right there. And we get, for Amanda, Nightmare's Vapors. Shuffle the top 2 cards of the Tekelili deck into her deck, because we're certainly not losing 2 actions at this point in the game. All of my sleeves are in a big mess over the other side table here that I have. And I don't think I look at these, right? Without looking at them. So there's 1, and there's 2. Unfortunately, that is peril, so we can't test a will it. That's okay. That's okay. We're doing great, I think. I feel like I've got a lot of time. And then a nebulous miasma, which attaches to our location, but we're not going to be here at the end of the turn. There's basically no chance. And so I'm just going to put that there, and we'll have to get rid of it. And we've got rolled anyways, so if we need to get rid of it, we absolutely can. Okay. An overpower goes away, and we get a medical student on Amanda. And you know what? We're just going to put that Essence of the Dream under her now. To get that +6 most of the time. Because we can deal 2 damage to the location per attack. We need to get this guy away first, though. So, let's get that guy away first. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Against 2 to attack this Nameless Madness. -1. So he's evaded, and like all the rest of them are evaded. I'm not going to turn him because, again, I know that. Maybe I'll put a horror on him to remind myself that he's evaded. And we draw a card from Grizzly Totem. It's a Tekelili where we lose 2 resources. Not a big deal. Put that back underneath the deck. Okay. Excuse me. Have I used my other Vicious Blow? I have. So a practice makes perfect doesn't search for it. How much damage can I do with a Vicious Blow right now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand, so Essence of the Dream is still active. I deal a bonus damage from this, a bonus damage from him, and this can deal 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5 damage I need. So I'll attack it once with a Vicious Blow. I am attacking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 1. 9 against 1. For 5 damage. If I use the Michael Lee dollar, which I will. Michael Lee evidence, I should say, which I will. Bam, there's the 5 damage. So that one just collapsed. Actions 1 and 2. We'll shortcut over to the next missed pylon. Have we got 2 clues off of here yet? Spend 2 clues as a group. over to the last missed pylon. This is a 4 shroud, 4 clue location, so 4 clues is not that bad. If you control the C1, which is the one that she has, for the remainder of the game, each investigator gets +1 to each of their skills while they're at a missed pylon. Alright, wow, that is nice. So we'll toss that on there. And I only need to deal 4 damage to this. I spent an evidence off of him, of course. So, how are we going to get our 4 damage in? We're just going to keep punching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do another punch. We are, excuse me, 7 against 4. No, we're 8 against 4 because of the +1 to each of our skills. Nice. Should I get a clue so that Michael has a bonus damage on him? I kind of feel like I should. That might be the safer play, like in the long term. And Stella can kind of come in and finish this off if she really needs to. Yeah. I feel like that might be the play. Let's go for it. Let's go for the damage. Let's go for the damage. Let's get this done. -4. Okay, so that is 2 damage. And that's Amanda's turn. Stella is going to move out first action. Move out first action. She's going to 1, 2, 3 play these track shoes just in case I need this agility bonus. Because I don't know what happens after I'm done this act. I know what it said. I set aside a separate thing, so I don't know what's happening at the end. And then we're going to do an attack with... No, we're going to punch. We're going to punch 3 against 2. Should we punch or should we fight? No, we're going to fight with custom. We're going to be 5 against 2. Do I have any icons I can commit over here? I could toss in that whole obscure studies, but that seems absurd. Oh, 5 against 2, but I have the live and learn in hand. Yep. That's the play. 5 against 2. Third action. I haven't failed anything yet this turn. -2. Okay, so we place the 2 damage on it. That is collapsed. At the end of the round, if each missed pylon is collapsed, advance. Okay. And so that's successful, and so that's the end of the round. This guy's going to hunt once towards me here. This miasma is going to fall off. We're going to draw a card and gain a resource, and then draw a card and gain a resource. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over here. Okay, end of the round. We advance. Self-destruction. The facility shakes to its very core. Without the mist pylons powering the structure, the nameless entity that resides within is free, and its days are numbered, as are yours. The mountain groans and trembles, threatening to collapse all around you. Set all but 3 copies of the Nameless Madness aside. Each investigator loses all of their clues. Remove each location except the Gate of Equa from the game. Investigators and copies of the Nameless Madness are not defeated by this effect. All other cards at those locations are discarded. Put the 4 set-aside Titanic Ramp locations into play in a straight line to the right of the Gate of Equa. Put the set-aside Hidden Tunnel location into play to the right of the rightmost Titanic Ramp. Place each investigator and each remaining copy of the Nameless Madness in play at the leftmost Titanic Ramp. Remove the agenda deck from the game and advance to set aside the final Mirage. It is both the current act and the current agenda. Okay, well, I'm going to set this up, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. The Gate of Equa, the Titanic Ramps, us at the same Titanic Ramp as the Nameless Madnesses, the Hidden Tunnel at the end, and the final agenda and act, the final Mirage. The Nameless Madness gains Hunter. Forced. When one or more Doom will be put into play, instead, spawn 1 set-aside copy of the Nameless Madness at the leftmost investigator's location. Objective, run. Oh dear. The Titanic Ramp. It's a 3 shroud, 2 clue location. As an additional cost for you to leave the Titanic Ramp, test 2 agility. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Any investigator at your location or connecting location may spend a clue to have you automatically succeed at this test. We did lose all those clues, didn't we? Okay. And now, we're at encounter cards. Oh, fun fact, the Day of Reckoning did get discarded and the Elder Sign went back in the bag because the agenda advanced, or the agenda went out of play. So, Amanda gets a Frozen in Fear. That is horrendous. I think we're going to test a will that. Bye-bye, test a will. Let's not get stuck at this first location. Thanks, Stella. I do not want to be dealing with that. We're not burning a bunch of actions on Frozen in Fears here. And then we get a Glimpse of the Unspeakable, draw the top card of the Tekelili deck, and resolve its effects. Take a horror, put that on us because we have a fight or flight in hand. And then we shuffle it into any deck. We're just going to put it into our own deck because it is the end of the campaign. And frankly, Stella can tank these really easy right now. So, Stella can get out of here, I think. Shouldn't be a problem. But we're definitely going to need to help poor Amanda out a bit. Either through giving her clues or for, well, no, just giving her clues, I suppose. So, Glimpse the Unthinkable, you are dealt with. Okay. The Essence of the Dream, unfortunately, gets discarded at the start of her turn, at the start of the investigation phase. And then we draw a card and something has to go under her. She takes a horror from the Tekelili. We'll go ahead and put that on Michael Lee. Okay. And then something has to go under her. Now she's kind of in a bit of a shit spot because she's not great at pretty much anything right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this Eureka underneath her. And that'll let her do a lot of different things. But primarily we're going to be spending a clue to get out of here. And so in order to spend a clue to get out of here, I kind of feel like I have to pull this off with Stella to get a nice big over success. But the problem with a nice big over success is that it's not super likely. Yeah, it's not super likely. Okay, so we're gonna have to. Well, yeah, we're gonna have to do it though. We'll spend 1 for a fight or flight to get plus X, or just plus 2 agility for the turn. So that puts us at 7. And we'll test, excuse me, 7 against 4. We'll test 8, 9, 10 against 4 to try and really crush that agility test to get out. Excuse me, to try and test the, crush the evade so that we actually evade all of them, is what I'm actually trying to say. -1. There's a seal, so it's a frost token. Oh, I've been forgetting about that. Ooh, I fucked that up all scenario, didn't I? Okay, but that's a frost token, so that's a -1. I've been forgetting about that completely. And an Elder Sign, which we're not gonna fail that. So we evade all of them, and then we'll go ahead. Oh, I'm bummed that I missed that so many times. We're gonna go ahead and move out of the location, and we're gonna be like 7 against 2. I think I can trust Amanda to get a single fucking clue to automatically succeed that test. -2, so we move to this next Titanic ramp. 2 shroud, 2 clues. This is test 3 agility to get out. Okay, well. You rat. Okay, so yeah, we'll trigger track shoes and we'll keep going. We'll leave her in our absolute shit right now. To be, 7 against 3 this time. Sorry, 7 against 3 to get the move. And then 7 against 3 again to see whether it cancels. -1, so that succeeds, but then I have to test 3 agility to see if it cancels. -0, so we scoot over one more location. This is an even lower shroud. Test 4 agility for this one. Okay, so I have 1 action left. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try and pick up a clue. So I'm going to be testing like 4 against 0. Just to get a clue, just so that we have an extra clue available to auto-succeed this one. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm happy with that. -1. Okay, so we get 1 clue from that location. Okay, so that's Stella. Amanda, I need her to pick up a clue. So, we're going to investigate the location with a Grizzly Totem, Eureka, Perception. This Essence of the Dream goes to my hand at the start of the turn. So I'm at like, I'd like to pick up more clues if I could, but I don't have that, do I? Have I? I need to check if I've used both my deductions. This go through the deck. Deduction, deduction, I have. Okay. So I don't have any other ways to get clue compression, so I'm just going to have to get them now. You know what, though? I might save the Grizzly Totem, because I can Grizzly Totem this with my Dream Diary into this one and just leave, rather than auto-succeed it. Actually, I'll do that here and then auto-succeed that one. Okay, yes, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 3. -2, so we get 1 clue. We succeeded by 2, so we get 2 cards from Perception, a Leadership, and an Overpower. And then we get the top 3 cards, 1 of them from Eureka. We'll just take another Eureka, 2 Promise of Powers. And then we'll leave this location. When we leave, we're going to put an Essence of the Dream and a Eureka and a Grizzly Totem in. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 against 2. -3. So that's successful. We scoot over. That's action 2. In action 3, we'll just move again, spending a clue this time to be automatically successful. Okay. These guys ready over here? The Essence of the Dream gets put away for now. That readies. We get 1 of our Promise of Powers to hand and a resource. Do have to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We do have to discard. We'll get rid of a medical student. And then over on Stella, we'll ready our track shoes, and we'll draw an old keyring. We place a Doom. That puts a Nameless Madness on the leftmost investigators. A set-aside Nameless Madness. Oh, shoot, where did I put all of them? Okay, well, let me just do this really quick. I didn't realize that I'd need them still set aside. I thought they were just getting put away for the rest of the game. Okay. Misread that ability. So 1 Nameless Madness pops out directly onto us. And then we get our encounter guards. Another Frozen in Fear, nothing to cancel that with. And a Primeval Terror. This gets +1 difficulty for each location away you are from the Gate of Iqua. Oh yes, okay, so I'm 4 locations away from the Gate of Iqua, and I'll be taking 2 horror. But I am 4 against 6. 1, 2, 3 locations away, 4 against 5. Am I happy with 4 against 5? Do I have any icons I can throw in over here? Why don't I just, like, commit the leadership to be, like, 7 against 5. Happier with 7 against 5. Dodges that Elder thing. 1 less guy to evade. -3, and then I can pass it with Granny Orn. And we can each gain 2 resources. And, yeah, we're happy campers. Okay, excuse me. Amanda's going to go first. She's going to have her Eureka follow from underneath her. Top deck a Promise of Power. We'll go and put an Overpower underneath her so she can punch this guy off of us. She's going to go ahead and punch this guy off of us, first action, which is going to cost 2 actions because of Frozen in Fear. This Essence of the Dream is in hand, by the way. So we're fighting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against 2. I'm happy with 7 against 2. -4, so we just succeed by 1, which I'm going to use to put another horror onto that. We do draw a card from the deck. Deduction, and we'll spend Stella's Clue when we move last action to this Titanic ramp. 2 clues on there. There's only a 1 difficulty agility test on that one. That's interesting. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead with Stella. This guy was evaded, by the way. That is her whole turn. She has to test the Frozen in Fear, right? Yeah, we'll toss the Essence of the Dream into that, right? So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 against 3. Dream Enhancing Serum. 7 against 3. Frost token -1. -1. Okay, so that's successful. And Frozen in Fear is gone. All right, and that's Amanda's turn. Stella is going to first action. These both go away, by the way. Probably try to gather a clue. I feel like we want to gather a clue, so we're going to test 2 against 1, or sorry, 3 against 1 with the old keyring. Using a little keyring charge to try and actually succeed at this if we can, because we might fail at that agility test. Only testing 1 up. -1, so 2 against 1. -1, and so that auto fails. But since that auto failed, I can look what I found for the clue. So I have an extra action. So I have 3 actions remaining. I did auto fail, so I could draw a card from the Rabbit's Foot as well. That's a waylay. Old keyring still has a charge on it. So I'll scoot over 1 location, and I'll spend a clue to auto pass that, because I really don't want to fuck around with that anymore. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to investigate with the old keyring. We're going to play... Ooh, I don't have any money. Okay. Third action, we're going to take a resource and then immediately spend it on an ice pick. Excuse me, ice pick. Getting rid of custom 32. Okay. And then we're going to investigate with the keyring, the ice pick. 4 against 0 because of the -2 difficulty from the keyring and the -2 difficulty from Stella. 4 against 0. -1. -1. Okay, so we succeed by 2, so we can scavenge. We'll just take the cookie's gun back into hand, because the extra 2 icons there might be useful, and we'll get both the clues, so we can auto pass both of those moves if Stella goes second. The old keyring gets discarded as well. Great. We're looking really good here. These guys are going to hunt over. This guy's going to ready. We're going to ready. Grizzly Totem, Rabbit's Foot, Scavenging, Granny Orn. I have a Hypochondria over here. I have a single charge in Alaya, and I do have my Dynamite left still, which is hilarious, in case those goddamn penguins show up again. A Nameless Madness spawns on us, and we get Blasphemous Visions. Shuffle the top card of a Technically deck back into your deck without looking at it. Then put a Blasphemous Visions into your threat area. Resolve their effects twice. Well, hopefully we can get the fuck out of here. And I might just take an attack of opportunity and walk out rather than bothering fighting this guy anymore. Depends on what I gotta do with the hidden tunnel, I guess. Maybe I should play it safe and try and actually get rid of the guy. Seems like the prudent thing to do. And then Stella gets, ooh, that was close, another Blasphemous Visions. Okay, making me waste a bunch of time doing some shuffling. Thank you, game. Really appreciate it. Muchos appreciated. Okay. The overpower falls off of her, and she draws the top card, which is a Perception. So we're just going to go ahead and shove an Obscure Studies underneath. And we'll do the safe thing. So we'll start with her. We'll take the Essence of the Dream to hand. We'll do a really big punch on that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 against 2. So they're all evaded, because I forgot about that earlier. When you succeed, you just get to evade every single one of them. And then we'll spend a clue to do a move second action, automatically succeeding at it. The Hidden Tunnel. If each undefeated investigator is at the Hidden Tunnel, advance the act. Boom. Alright. And she just ends her turn. Stella? Let's walk it out. Spends a clue to auto-succeed. Each undefeated investigators of the Hidden Tunnel, and we advance the act. You emerge from the tunnel, daylight blinding you as the sun peeks out from behind the jagged mountaintops in the distance. Behind you, the entity rushes towards the exit. You prepare yourself for the end. The wall of mist, miasma, and madness feeling much like an oncoming train. Check the campaign log. If all 5 mist pylons were collapsed and Dr. Kensler has a plan, proceed to R1. Alright, let's go check it out. Suddenly, there is a blast of warm air, and a sound like a tremendous exhalation. The air shimmers with the distortion of a mirage, and you watch in shock as the rushing miasma suddenly recoils. It collapses upon itself, and retreats back into the mountainside, just as the avalanche begins. Bright blue cracks spread rapidly along the walls. Without the pylons, the integrity of not just the facility within the mountain, but the entire city is compromised. The icy floor cracks open. The cyclopean architecture of the alien city begins to sink into the snow. Then you hear it. The roaring engine of an airplane overhead. The last of Takata's 3 planes soars over the city, and familiar shouts echo throughout the ancient, ruinous streets. There they are, by that tunnel, quickly! 2 sledges slide into view, pulled by the remainder of the dogs Elia left at the barrier camp, and manned by several members of the crew of the Theodosia. You cannot hold back your surprise or joy at the sight. They motion frantically for you to join them, their gazes fixed on the collapsing mountain. At the last possible second, you hear another voice emanating from within the tunnel. Wait! Dr. Kensler emerges from the darkness, waving and hollering. Wait for me! She hops onto the sledge, and together you race off into the foothills as the city collapses into the ice behind you. One of the crewmates explains that they fixed up the last of the airplanes, and decided to look to you. One of the crewmates explains that they fixed up the last of the airplanes and decided to use it to look for you, even knowing the risks. When we spotted you entering that huge cavern without most of your gear, we thought you might need a rescue. Didn't expect it to be quite this literal, he says. You tell him his timing couldn't have been more perfect. The moment you make it back to the ice shelf, Dr. Kensler instructs the crew to prepare for departure. You barely even break down the barrier camp. It doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is getting out of this place with your lives intact, and with all the evidence you have found, of course. But still, you have questions. Once safely aboard the Theodosia, you confront Dr. Kensler and ask her what she did back in the facility. The entity was chasing you, and then suddenly... I told you, it's not a living creature, she explains. As such, it cannot be killed. At least not by our standards. But it has some semblance of sentience, yes? It knows our desires, our hopes, our fears. You note aloud that Dr. Kensler is using the present tense. She clenches her jaw. The slightest hint of distortion wavers in the air around her. I made a deal, she whispers. It was the only way. In your campaign log, record the Nameless madness is contained safely within its host.
for now. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, cross off Dr. Amy Kensler's name. In its place, write the entity. In your campaign log, record the survivors of the expedition were, and list the names of each member of the expedition team who is not crossed off, along with each surviving investigator's name. Each investigator earns experience equal to victory X value of each card in the victory display. Each investigator earns 10 bonus experience as they have saved reality from an unspeakable fate. The investigators win the campaign. Whew. That was a doozy of a finale. That was super enjoyable and pretty tense. I think I was okay on time. I think that I might have rushed things a little bit in that first section. I definitely had a lot more turns before the agenda was flipping, but wow. That was a cool finale. I liked that, the way that worked. And that would be hard in 4-player. Passing a bunch of 4s every turn? Whew. Alright. Let's see if we've got an epilogue. Yeah, I've got one epilogue to read here. You find Ellsworth and Claypool on the aft deck of the Theodosia, enjoying a majestic view of the Atlantic. It has been several days since your escape, and the mood is one of relief mixed with sorrow and guilt. The two men greet you as you approach, shifting aside to offer you a place to enjoy the view as well. After a moment of contemplation, you ask what is in store for the explorers. The two of them share a knowing glance. A vacation, I think, Ellsworth says. A very, very long vacation. Nothing but blue skies and warm air, Claypool suggests. Sure. Somewhere that's on a map, preferably, Ellsworth adds with a gentle smile. Really? I was thinking somewhere nice and remote. Just the two of us, Claypool hints. You chuckle and leave the two of them to their vacation plans. Perhaps there is hope for the lot of you, after all. Well, that was a thoroughly enjoyable campaign. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm going to be running that again soon on the channel. I've got a solo run that I want to do with Winifred. So I'll be uploading that. Hopefully it'll be a lot faster, and hopefully it'll be on Tabletop Simulator. Actually, no, it will be on Tabletop Simulator, because it's on there now. So the games won't be quite so long. I'm going to be doing a lot less story text when I read them. Be a bit more focused on just gameplay. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching the campaign all the way to the end. If you've watched this far, I really appreciate it. That's probably like, tens of hours or 10 plus hours of listening to me talk and fumble around with physical cards. So anyways, really appreciate it if you've watched that much. And yeah, stay tuned for more Arkham. Cheers.